Once in a while, we get homeowners who have 1 meter for multiple tenants asking us to start splitting the bills and then bill it back to the tenants. This might seem to be a very simple task, but from a property management perspective, it's a very, very annoying and tedious task that we have to go through series of actions in order for the bills to be processed. My name is Ping. I have over 800 units under our management, and typically we're getting about 18 to 20 requests like this every single month. In today's videos, I'm going to show you exactly how we used to process everything by hand, and now we're using AI agent to process all of them. And at the end, I'll also share with you the prompt and the system that we use so that you can set this workflow for yourself. Okay, first thing first, we're going to talk about exactly how we were using in the old way. And the reason why this is important is so that you can see exactly how the workflow is being built. And you can also see that a lot of tasks actually doesn't need to be handled by human beings. So first thing first, the landlord sends us the utility bills. So share bill arrives into our inbox. Step number 2 is that we usually block off the owner's address on the utility bill. And the purpose of doing that is that so that the tenants don't actually know where the landlord lives. Does it matter? I don't know, but we got a few requests and we just got into the habit of always doing that for every single bill. And after that, we will split the bills by properties, and then we will start doing the menu calculation for each unit. So that's step number 4. The menu calculation for unit 1, 2, 3 just depends on how many units there is for the property. And a lot of times we still need to go into their leases or PMS notes to check the split for each unit. And after that, we will open our PMS, open their ledger, enter the amounts, and enter the memo just so that there's no confusion when the tenants open their online portal. And after that, we still need to prompt them, so we will email each tenant their share with the attachment of the utility bill. And then after all that is done, then we notify the owner that, hey, it's done, and now we just need to go into the collection. So it might seem very easy to just hand off the utility to a property manager for them to handle. But if you think about this process, it's 7 steps, it's annoying, it's not productive, because as a property management company, we're not really charging anything to handle this type of paperwork. And with the 7 steps times by 20 different utility bills, and this just end up being a lot of free admin work on our property management side. And this is why we looked into our old process and we're like, we gotta make a change into the AI automation process. So starting last year, we started processing all the invoices through AI agents. And honestly, it saved a lot of time, a lot of aggravation, and more importantly, it's actually not hard to get everything set up. So if you look at it on the right hand side, it's literally 1 command, 4 steps, but you actually only require any operator to do 2 of them. So all you have to do is to give the AI a utility command and add a bill that homeowner actually passes up to you. And the boss will line everything up, choose the properties, utility split, and do all the calculation. And the truth is, you never have to worry about the math that you're entering into. And after that, you just need to approve the split, the properties, and all the information. And the AI agent will actually handle the work for you, post everything into the ledger, and keep this action as part of the memory. So going forward, as soon as you build the utility bills, you'll actually remember exactly what the split is. And after that step, it's literally just another command for the AI agents to email out to the tenants and the landlords that this task or this charge has been applied to your ledger. So as you can see, all process, each invoice will take anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes, all the way to literally just 2 taps. So we're talking about maybe like 10 seconds, which I'm going to show you exactly how it works in our system. And I'll also show you exactly what prompt that we're using so that you can actually build it out yourself. Now, let me show you exactly how this works. Now, all I have to do is to turn on my Telegram, and then I use my utility command. So what it shows is that send me the utility bill, and I'm going to be using this one as a demonstration. So this bill, I already covered the owner's address. So service address is 71 East, total amount of $115. And the last thing I always check is the time period. So billing period is May 9th to June 4th. This is the part where I will put it on the lease ledger, so tenants knows which time period they're paying for. Okay, so after that, I will attach it. And you'll take all the information out from this PDF file. So 115, which is what we have, and time period is May 9th to June 4th. So this is all correct. The only thing that the agent wanted to confirm is the address, which typically you'll get it, but I actually just reset it, that's why. So what the AI just did is I went into my PMS to confirm that there are 2 units for this property. And I just need to confirm Unit 1 and 2 and 50/50 because I removed the charges for this demonstration in the notes. So I need to actually re-enter this one. So now 50/50, what I'm looking for is actually 40% and 60%. The default setting doesn't allow me to have that, so I'm just entering 40 to 60. And now it's gonna get saved into the memory. So going forward, I no longer have to enter this over again. Once I see that the numbers 115 gets split into 2, then I can approve the split. Now the charges has been posted into the lease ledger. And the second step is emailing the tenants. We're not going to do that because this is a demonstration, so I don't want the tenants to get confused. Now let's go into the lease ledger. So 71 East, start with the unit number 2. There's no charges. That was from before. And then let me refresh it. Goes into this one. Now you can see $69 utility, Enbridge 60%, May 9th to June 4th. Okay, if I go into unit number 1, okay, you're also going to see that there's additional charge here, $46. Enbridge 40%, May 9th to June 4th. So it's been done, and I actually hit approve and saying you'll notify the tenants with the charges, and you also notify the owner that this task has been done. And that's exactly how we process the invoice, just so much quicker and save you a lot of time. And you no longer feel like this is an extra task anymore. And this would be the step that as a property management owner, I will look into my business model and see if there's anything that I don't like to do, let me just bill it out. I need to go through this thing. It doesn't matter how I do it, but if it needs to be handled, I'm charging someday. So you turn my unproductive hours into a productive hours for the company. Now you might have a question for me, Ping, how do I actually get this set up? Seems very easy, and what is the prompt that I need to use? So number 1 is that you need to have your API key. API key basically is the access key to your property management software. I'm using Buildium, so all I have to do is to upgrade to the highest tier. So you'll give me the right function within the API. And that's really, really important. So this is where you don't cheap out, because investing in the software honestly will give you highest return. So upgrade it into their highest tier with the API key access. And that way you can allow your system to communicate with your PMS. Because honestly, this is the only way that you can actually deploy your AI agents into the entire system. So again, the first one is your property management software API access. The second one is your Telegram. If you don't have any tech background, honestly, Telegram is probably the quickest way for you to set this up. All you have to do is to go into bot fodder in Telegram. Okay, you can search up online to learn how to actually get this, but daily Telegram key access as well. Once you have these two, you can connect it in any code base. Now that you have your PMS and your Telegram communicating with each other, now you have to have a source of truth. And what that means is that it's just a document for them to actually read through all the notes and know exactly what to do when they're given a utility bill. The idea is very similar to just training another employee. If you're teaching an employee, a high school kid, to do some manual entry, you still need to give them a bit of instruction and where to find those notes. And after all of this done, I'm going to share with you 3 prompts that's really, really important because we test it over and over again, and these 3 honestly works very reliably for us. The very first action that the AI agent needs to do is that they need to read the bill and match the property. Okay, so step number 1 is read the bill and extract utility type. Is it water, gas, or hydro? What's the provider, which is your company name, your total amount, your service address, your billing period, which is also really important. So you can include that information in the ledger memo, and then after that is the account number. So those are the information that I typically will take out from a utility bill anyway. So I want the system to do all of that. After that is to match the service address to one property only. I still want this utility bill to match one of the addresses in my PMS, because if it doesn't match, it means that I probably grabbed the wrong bills, and I don't want it to be entered into any ledgers. So I want some sort of a security or check-in point so that I'm not messing around with the other people's accounting. So step number 2 really prevents any errors. You match the service address with one property in your PMS, matches more than one property, list them, ask me which one it is. And then if it says no, just stop and do not guess. This is really critical for you to prevent any error happening. And the last thing would be echoed in this shape. I'm not going to go into too much details. You just fill in all the information and allow me to approve it for the next step. Okay, and for prompt number 2, the very first thing that I need to do is to go into PMS, which is what I call source of truth. Go in there, read the information, and understand what the utility split for every single unit in that specific property. And then once that's done, validate whether or not these splits gets added up to 100, because there's a situation where, again, human error, we only add it up to 90 or 95% instead of 100%. This is where I want the AI agent to just double check for me. Step number 3 will be split the existing that is valid. So show it, set it for what, and if I need to change it, it allows me to have an option to change the split, because if I caught that there's an error in my notes, I also want to correct the notes. So going forward, you just pick out the right data and implement it for me. And the rule for this prompt is that you never want the agent to post any unconfirmed split. Once the split is remembered, you'll get saved into the memory, and going forward, you just don't need to worry about it. And the prompt number 3 is the add-on for prompt 2, which is if you already have something saved, all you have to do is calculate it and run everything down to the cent. So since we have the rule for the previous prompt that it has to be added up to 100%, if you have 3 units, 100 divided by 3 is 33.33. One of the units is going to be 33.34. So in this case, I just don't want any complication. I want every tenant to get 33.33%, and the last 1% just get neglected or absorbed by the property. So that's the second step that I added in here, so it doesn't create some very small error that I just don't want to be dealing with. And after this part, I just want the agent to also list out all the things for me to just hit confirm or approve, and the AI agents can do the posting for me instead of me having to do that manually one at a time. And the last part about the AI workflow here is very simple. We want the AI to also block out the utility bills for us. I used to do that manually, but now I just have the AI agent to always detect what the owner's mailing address is. Remove it by placing a black box over the text message, and once that's done, then we can verify if it's actually gone. So I always do a quality control when I'm doing something that's a little bit more data sensitive. So step number 2 is to verify that this is done. Once this is all done, step number 3 is to send it over to tenants and owner that this task has been completed and pay your shares. So this is the entire system that you can set it up for yourself, so you no longer have to manually process any utility bills. If you feel like you get some value out of this video, make sure you like and subscribe. Please, that will help me out, and comment below on what other features that you would like to see AI agents handle. And one last thing is that if you don't want to touch any tech stuff and you want our team to implement it for you, use the link below to book a demo call. Happy to show you exactly how it works.